Hi, everybody, it's Joy, and this is my weekly Facebook Live. I hope everyone can start joining me. So, if you are here with me, go ahead and pop on with a little hello in the comments. So, it is a very, very snowy day here in the Denver area. So, it started snowing yesterday evening and it's been snowing off and on for a while. So just gonna make sure that I'm live here, and hopefully I'll get a couple of comments. Yeah, it looks like I am. So hopefully a couple of comments will be coming in. If you watch this, um, excuse me, if you watch this on replay, be sure to also make a comment. I do go back and reply to those who comment. So I love comments. And this is the card that I posted yesterday that was part of the Old Olive monochromatic Instagram hop that I posted also here on Facebook. And so I'm going to redo this card, but with just a little bit of a twist. And so let's get started. So this was done with the Storybook Garden Patch. So you have all these wonderful garden elements and then some really great dies to go with that. Most of these cut out the pieces. A few of them do a little bit more than that. They're kind of standalone dies. So be sure to check out the Storybook Garden Patch. I needed some words or greetings to go with this, so I used the Wonderful Thoughts. It has many wonderful greetings there or sentiments. And this also comes with dies that will, how you've seen some people that do fussy cutting and they cut all around the words. This cuts it out for you when you get the dies that go with the Wonderful Thoughts set. So, anyway, this is Storybook Garden Patch, and we're going to be using um, some of the Storybook Moments Designer Series paper with that. Okay, so let's show you that. All right, so you have this piece. Oop, I'm losing some pieces here. Must have come off another piece. Okay, all right. So here we have this. Hi, Jackie. Thank you for joining me. I love it when people join and make comments. So you have this piece here that has all the pieces. You can like cut those apart and put those on different projects. And then you have the cute little bunny rabbits and all the garden things. And then of course all the vegetables and some more cute little critters here. And then you have two sheets of all these punch out die cuts. So that's really fun. You have two sheets of those. So let me show you the back side of these papers. I just showed you the front side of 5 different designs. So now let me show you the back side of those. So you get 2 sheets of those and then 5 of these. So that makes six different different sheets there's front and back. So that's 5 of these, so 10 designs plus 2 sheets of these. So this is the back side. Look at those cottages. Aren't those cute? And look, it looks like wallpaper, like old-fashioned wallpaper. And then the strawberries. And then, of course, the sides, the other side. So that is the Storybook Moments paper. You could make a lot of cards just with the punch outs and the paper. That is very, very fun. And so, hi Rose, thank you for joining me as well, and Teresa also. So let's go ahead. We are going to use um, the same card base, which is the basic white thick. This is thicker than the regular basic white, and so it's really good for card bases. And I have done a skinny card base. So let's measure this. This is 4 1/4 by 11. So this is half of an 8 1/2 by 11. And then of course scored in half at the 5 1/2 inch mark. So anyway, go ahead and let's fold our card base in half. Get a bone folder out. Get a nice crisp crease there. So set that aside for a moment. And then we have a couple of layers of old olive. And these are the same size pieces as I used on the card that I posted yesterday. So these are the same size pieces as this one. So it is 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches, and then 2 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. So this is a square piece. And we also need a white piece. Basic white, this is regular basic white, not the thick basic white. So this is 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. And so there's 1/4 inch difference, which gives us a border of 1/8 of an inch. So there's that. And then one of my biggest twists on this is I'm using Designer Series paper. So I chose this one because it has some of the old olive kind of a filigree design in there. Also on Lost Lagoon. So Lost Lagoon and Old Olive look great together. And this piece is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. So then this goes on the 3 3/4 by 5 inch matting layer. So there we have these pieces, and we need to do something for our little watering can. So here's a piece, and here's our stamp. We're bringing in basic gray. I didn't want it to be real stark, so I chose basic gray instead of Memento Tuxedo Black. And this is a red rubber set. And yes, I did need to kind of trim it down a little bit with scissors. And to just stamp that on another piece of basic white. And we're going to set this aside for a second. We're going to bring in some Pool Party and this 2 1/2 by 2 1/2 inch square. Go ahead and bring in some scratch paper, Pool Party ink, and a blending brush. So we are going to just create a little background for this watering can to kind of sit on. So we are just kind of getting the really dark smudges off there so that we don't get any blobs of darkness on our project. And go ahead and blend some ink. Going kind of in the middle. and not really around the edge. Well, hi, LaDonna. Thank you for joining me today. All right, so there's our background. And here's our watering can, and we're going to bring in the blends, the Stampin' Blends markers. So we have Old Olive and Pool Party. We also have a color lifter. We're going to be using that a little bit as well. So I'm going to start out with the light Old Olive, and I'm going to get that. You just need a very light touch with this. You don't want to push it into the paper at all. Just kind of glide that marker in the areas where you want your color. And just going to get some, going to add the darker for some shading. I like the Stampin' Blends. They are alcohol markers, and I like that because they blend together much better without adding lines. Okay, so my tip is not great on this. I need to replace this because my tip is kind of, you got to be really careful with those tips and don't do it like this. I'm going to kind of turn them to the side. So there we go, just getting that in, and then let's come in with the dark Old Olive and kind of color some areas. And we are going to blend this together a little better. It's pretty stark right now. We're going to do something kind of blend that together. So just kind of want my light source to be kind of in the front of this. So this is pretty stark right now, but we are going to do some blending. Just kind of get those rings. We want those to kind of stand out. Alright, so now I'm going to come back with the light, and I'm going to kind of do this in a circular motion over where I've kind of started my shading. Just kind of going over this. So I know you all wanted a coloring lesson today, but sometimes it's nice to go over these things a little bit more. Oh yeah. And we need to go this. Okay, that tip is destroyed too. I really need to, I'm not sure how it got messed up. I don't know whether somebody borrowed this or what, but So we are just going to bring in our color lifter, and sometimes that will help blend it, give it some highlights. So anyway, I would just continue working with that until I have it the way I want it. And went ahead and I have one that I've already done that I've cut out with the dies. So there we have that. And this one I did not cut out, and this one I am cutting out. So I'm doing some subtle differences here. And let's see, let's go ahead, figure out where we want this watering can to be. And I did go ahead with some pull party here. So I'm going to bring in some light pull party. And these caps are meant to be very tight because they are alcohol based and they will evaporate. So I keep mine in a plastic container as well um, as keeping the lids on. So I'm just kind of giving this a little bit of a pull party base to kind of ground that a little bit, because I don't want it to look like my watering can is like floating off into air. So let's go ahead and bring in some mini dimensionals. I wanted to have this popped up just a little bit to kind of capitalize on the dimension. And I'm going to need some edge pieces, some skinnier pieces. Ah, sticking to my scissors though. So I want one right there. I'm going to do a few more. One there. I think one more should do it. So that should all be, yeah. I don't see any saggy parts on that. So let's go ahead, get our take your pick tool, get the rest of those papers off. And now let's put our watering can on here. And have one more thing. I want my Hi Friend from the Wonderful Thoughts set. Again, in the basic gray. Make sure I get it right side up. Okay, make sure you get some good ink on there. This is just going to go right up here. Hopefully that's straight. There we have our little focal element. And so let's go ahead and start putting some pieces together. Alright. I know, both sides are so cute. You just, sometimes you don't know which side to use. Okay, I forgot. I have something I have to do before I stick this down. So, I need the gold twisted thread, which is an online exclusive. I think these are online exclusives too. The adhesive backed heart sequins, part of the Hearts of Elegance suite, I believe. Alright, so we have glue there, but I think I'm going to need a glue dot anyway. And pick up a glue dot. This needs to go down here, right about here. And then wrapped around a couple of times. And we're going to trim that. And we're going to need another glue dot. I know, it's going to be messy because I've already put the glue down. But, you know, I make the mistakes, so hopefully you don't have to. Okay, there's my glue dot. So if we get that even. Alright, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to glue it down. If I used a different adhesive besides the liquid glue, it would have been much less messy. So maybe next time I will use the seal, the tape runner. Alright, there we have that piece. And now we're going to touch this, so I'll just bring my seal in this time. And we're going to center that on our card base. I think that's straight. I hope so anyway. And what else can we do? Move some things around. Oh, yep, there it is. There's my old olive layer. The seal is much less messy than the glue. The glue has its advantages as well, because it doesn't dry instantly and gives you a little wiggle room. But let's grab some dimensionals. Brand new sheet. Sometimes that's so fun to pull out a brand new sheet. And take your pick tool. And let's go ahead and mount this on here. Hopefully again that's straight. And I have pre-tied a bow out of that the gold twisted thread. And another glue dot. Now this one, you definitely need to take and roll this up because that thread is so thin. So we're going to kind of roll up this, roll that up a little bit. Put that on the back side of this. Needs to get in the right spot. Well, trying to get it where there is the least amount of glue showing behind our bow. And stick that right on here. There we have it. Our bow. I think we need to trim our bow just a tad. Okay, there the bow's all trimmed. Now, I think I'm just going to add one of these little hearts. For this one, I used a large heart and two of the small hearts. I think this time I'm just going to go with one little heart right here on the watering can this time to just make that just a little bit different than our previous sample. So there we have that part. And yes, I was going to put a little strip of the that on the inside. So let me go in and get just a little strip of that designer series paper. Just a 1/2 inch strip. And so we're bringing some of the outside to the inside. And I do think I want the liquid glue for this one. I want to be able to have a little wiggle room. Not going all the way to the end because I know it's longer than my card base. And we are just going to put that right along the bottom. And then trim that off. So there we have it. That is our first card that was monochromatic old olive. This one is just more analogous because we're bringing in the Lost Lagoon with it. So tell me which one you like best. And yeah, so thank you, Jackie, for chiming in. And so until next week, bye.